As someone who is learning how to write scripts and how to write full feature films and how to write shorts and how to write good dialogue, one thing I notice when watching new movies nowadays and watching old films that I've seen before is the dialogue and how characters talk. And this is something that a lot of people get wrong and get right. Writing dialogue might be a hard thing to overcome or might be a hard thing to learn if you're just starting out, writing scripts or making movies and stuff like that. And a lot of people can't nail it. A lot of people don't know like the basics, and like it really makes me cringe when I see bad dialogue in movies. Bad dialogue that doesn't make sense or that like is kind of wonky and it doesn't feel real. And I have been, researching a lot these past few months on YouTube and doing YouTube courses and, seeing like how dialogue is being made in film. And I actually was going to do a writing class online, but I actually did drop out of that because it wasn't worth the money. But either way, I'm still learning like on YouTube, and I've been doing courses and learning from the best, like Matthew Dix, who's a good storyteller, and all these famous storytellers and directors and stuff, and how they write their scripts and how they make their movies and stuff. And as for me, I have experience writing scripts for my past 2 short films and also my upcoming low budget feature. I'm writing it, and I'm writing it to my best abilities at this time, and getting feedback and what can I change and how can I make it better and how can I make it sound even better to the viewer. So yeah, and also like experience with like just watching past movies, like very short films that I've done in the way past. Like I did a reaction video on my channel reacting to my short films from the past, and like my middle school ones and my high school ones, and it's kind of cringe and whatnot, but like the dialogue does feel real, and that's kind of something that dialogue has to be. It has to be something that sounds real to the viewer. I've learned a lot from like I said, YouTube before. One channel that I do recommend watching is Standard Story Co. Kent Lamb, and he does a lot of great videos as well. He does videos about how to direct, how to write, how to make good dialogue, and I've seen all the videos and stuff related to that. And one thing that everyone kind of agrees on, if it doesn't feel organic, in like the person saying it, it's not a good dialogue sentence. Dialogue isn't a book, it's people, it's real people talking, and it's just like real life. It's not a book where you read it and it's like all these fancy languages and words and stuff. The whole thing with film and TV and stuff, it's supposed to be about real people talking. It's not like Star Wars or Star Trek where you have goofy languages. They talk in like rhymes and words and stuff that doesn't really sound like normal, like how human to human conversation will. And one thing I do look in, like, especially in real life, how do people in real life talk? People in real life don't talk in perfect sentences. Like right now, I'm talking to the camera, I might be messing up my words and stuff like that. I might stutter, I might repeat myself here and there. Exactly like that. Me and you, we don't speak in perfect sentences, and the English language is very broken. When I'm writing, I make sure to add stutters. I make sure to add beats and like stutters and pauses, maybe something that doesn't make sense, because people don't talk in perfect sentences. People might say something in real life but doesn't really make sense, or like if it's not clear. The movie and like the story in each scene should feel like a real moment, and this is how I do it in my writing and my dialogue, and this is what I'm really practicing now. I think my first short film, The Weekend, I did have a little bit of dialogue here and there, but the movie wasn't really about dialogue. It was more of like a silent, like a robbery, it's just action. But the few moments where I do have dialogue, I do try to have it like more real, and it did have some good and some bad lines, but overall I was pretty happy with it. And one thing I do try to make is like, if you're recording with friends and family, write your characters like dialogue around them. How would they talk? How do your friends and family talk in real life? Do they have this like famous like quote that they always say, or famous like catchphrase that like annoys you really? And I try to add that into the scripts and stuff. Pick up at Arby's, and my next one coming up. Evan is like, when I was writing that for Evan, because I knew Evan was gonna be the main character in this one, I made sure to add like him like saying on God, because he does say on God in real life a lot, and then you see that in the film when he's like on God this. So in film especially, I think like a good example for bad dialogue is like some Star Wars movies. Star Wars is taking place in a galaxy far, far away, and they have the right to have goofy dialogue, especially in the prequels.
I don't like sand. It's coarse and rough and irritating, and it gets everywhere. Not like here. Here everything is soft and smooth.
Some things I would say like is good dialogue, I've seen a lot of movies recently that have good dialogue. It's basically just like stuff that just feels real. And it feels real in the moment, stuff that has like immense acting in it.
I feel like, I don't know, maybe there's some weird fucked up reason why I made it and other people didn't. But then when you sit back and you think about it, you realize, no, there isn't. There's no fucking reason.
So yeah, overall with dialogue and stuff, if you have friends and family that you're shooting it with, and you know these actors and you know these people, write your dialogue and characters around them. How would they talk in real life? And so they're basically playing themselves when they're. I try to make it with my friends. You know, I try to make their dialogue seem more real and how they would talk in real life. I'm letting the actors also improvise along the way if they do want to add in something to their own vision. And overall, like at the end of the day, just make it sound real. It doesn't have to be like this perfect like storybook dialogue unless it's like, I don't know, some like history piece that takes place in the 1500s or something. But just make it sound real in modern day. You know, people don't talk in perfect sentences. People talk shitty. People people don't make sense. If you're worried that it might not be good because it's not perfect, the whole thing with like imperfect sentences does make it good, because when a story feels more real, short film or TV show, everything immediately becomes that next level, and it feels like on level to the real life and to our real reality. So that's all I gotta say for this one. Then other thing is just keep practicing. You'll get better and better with your dialogue and, you know, your writing. And if you want to do a free call with me for advice on your screenplays and your scripts and stuff, check out the link in the description. Subscribe if you're new. I got plenty of other videos talking about screenplays and video making and filmmaking and stuff like that. So hopefully you have a great rest of your day. I'll see you guys soon. Thank you.